All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We just did a total stream reset, a total reset of the broadcast. We were just live, as you saw, for, I don't know, about a half hour. And my internet started crashing out. I lost my upload connection to YouTube and Rumble as well, I believe. And the stream just started dying. So I took it down. I brought it back up. I waited a couple minutes. We've brought it back up now. You know, I have to say, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but I suppose given the nature of the things we're talking about, it is a little bit strange that I'm having random internet issues. Right? You know, everything is fine all day. I never have issues like this. And then the second we start doing a broadcast like this in front of 10,000 people, we had really closer to 11,000 people between both YouTube and Rumble talking about this stuff, trying to break this down and get the truth out here. Then my internet starts crashing out. So I'll tell you what here, folks. You know, we're going to give this a couple minutes here, but if this happens again, if we have another issue like this, I think it's going to be pretty obvious what is going on here. But, you know, we're going to hope I suppose it could have been a random hiccup in the internet. You know, we do a reset and we're back now. But if it happens again, once we get going, that's going to be pretty strange. It's going to be pretty darn weird. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to continue on with the show here, is what we're going to do. We're going to act as if nothing is wrong. And we're going to hope that nothing bad happens. And we're going to see what happens. Okay, so here we go. So where we left off, we were about to read through this Axios article, which gives more information about Charlie Kirk's assassin's transgender roommate, who everybody is talking about right now. The title of this article is "Kirk's Suspected Transgender Roommate is Aghast. He may be the key to the motive of the shooting." Well, I think we know what the motive is. I think we know. Authorities are investigating whether Tyler Robinson, suspected of killing Charlie Kirk, believed Kirk's views on gender identity were hateful to people like Robinson's transgender roommate. 6 sources familiar with the case tells Axios. So you don't really have to be too imaginative or creative to kind of figure out what's going on here. Tyler Robinson is a young homosexual. He's in a relationship with a transgender homosexual. Charlie Kirk is critical of the trans agenda, the trans ideology, the homosexual agenda, and Robinson decides to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Right? Okay, there's your motive. Now, I think really the big question here is to be determined is, was the roommate involved in this? Was the roommate, the transgender roommate, a co-conspirator in this assassination? We don't know. Did the assassin do this was he working together with his transgender roommate? Let's take a look here. Why it matters. Investigators believe Robinson's anger at Kirk's views, could be a key to establishing a motive for the slaying of the controversial activist. Listen, hey, make my life easy today. We got people spamming the chat. Listen, we're already off to a rocky start. Just don't spam the chat. Okay, can you make my life a little bit easier today? We're already off to a rough start. Thank you very much. Thanks. Just don't do that. Just shut up a little bit. Thank you. Okay. Investigators believe Robinson's anger at Kirk's views could be a key to establishing a motive for the slaying of the controversial activist whose death sent shockwaves through American politics. Each of the 6 sources familiar with the investigation told Axios that investigators believe Robinson had a romantic relationship with his roommate. So now we have Fox News is reporting this. Matt Walsh, we saw, independently reported this love relationship, this transgender homosexual relationship between these two, the assassin and the roommate. Matt Walsh has independently confirmed this. Fox News has independently confirmed this. And now Axios has 6 of their own independent sources confirming that these two were in a homosexual transgender relationship. Axios' sources said investigators initially wanted the information about the roommate's gender identity kept quiet because that person is being extremely cooperative with authorities. I think it's important for all of us to know this. I think personally that this is pertinent information. The fact that this person is transgender, because let's be real, Charlie Kirk for a long time has been critical of the trans agenda. There's your motive. Transgender person or a young homosexual man who was dating a transgender person assassinates Charlie Kirk. Boom. There's your motive. The roommate said the roommate was allegedly aghast at the slaying of Charlie Kirk when speaking to investigators and shared electronic messages sent by Robinson, one of the sources said. That's what happened? Oh my God, no, said the roommate, according to the source. Here are all of the messages. Now, folks, keep in mind here. Keep in mind. It took authorities about 33 hours. That's the number I remember. 33 hours is what the FBI told us. That's how long it took them to capture Tyler Robinson, the assassin. What does that mean? That is 33 hours during which they could have the roommate, the transgender roommate, the assassin, Tyler Robinson, 33 hours that they had to delete messages, delete all the emails, delete the Discord messages, delete their internet history, blah, 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 to remove the evidence, to delete whatever they thought would be incriminating. So the roommate says, oh my God, no, I had no idea. Here are all of the messages. They had over a day to delete them, to delete anything that might have been incriminating. Okay, so keep that in mind. We're going to keep reading here. The phone messages indicated a sender listed as Tyler had mentioned that after the shooting, he had wrapped his rifle in a towel and stashed it somewhere in the bushes near Utah Valley University where the shooting occurred, which is what Governor Spencer Cox on Friday said. So Tyler Robinson is the assassin. He kills Charlie Kirk. He flees the crime scene. He ditches the gun. He wraps it up in a towel and ditches it amongst some trees near the campus. And then he sends a text message to his homosexual transgender roommate and says, hey, listen, you got to come get the gun. Hey, please, I had to ditch the gun. You got to come retrieve it, please, ASAP. You know what? Here's my thing. Okay, I'm thinking about this for the first time right now. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, everybody in the nation knew immediately. Maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes after Tyler assassinated Charlie Kirk, he sends this text message to the roommate. Hey, you got to come get the gun. You got to come hide the gun. I had to ditch the gun. Did that roommate report Tyler to the FBI? Did the roommate say, whoa, wait a minute, Tyler, did you killed Charlie Kirk? What gun? What are you talking about here, dude? Tyler, did you kill Charlie Kirk? I'm calling the FBI. No, that's not what the roommate did. The roommate did not report Tyler to the FBI. It was Tyler's father. It was the father who a day and a half later determined, wait a minute, I think my son killed Charlie Kirk. I got to turn him in. And so it was the father that turned him in. So the roommate, I think it's fair to say here, aided and abetted Charlie Kirk's assassin for a solid day and a half. For 33 hours, 32 hours, 31 hours, something like that. This roommate knew what Tyler had done, and the roommate did not report it to the authorities. I'm just trying to make sure the timeline is right here. Okay. The phone message indicated Tyler. Yeah, okay, so we read that. Tyler also told the roommate in writing that the rifle would have to be retrieved. Yep. Read between the lines. Federal and state law enforcement officials are also examining leftist groups in Utah to see whether they had knowledge of the alleged shooter's plans beforehand or if they lent material support to him beforehand. Or afterwards. One of those groups eliminated its social media page after the shooting. Axios has also learned. Well, this is news to me. That's a little bit strange. That is a little bit curious. One of the Utah state far-left radical groups after the shooting took place, deleted all of its social media. Huh. That is a little bit strange. Imagine that. We have a super chat over here. This is from Cindy Lou Woot. Thank you very much. Says Robinson is not the person in the picture the FBI released. Video of the person on the roof did not have a rifle. What's going on? Yeah, I'm not sure if I buy that. I'm not. I actually don't agree with you on that. I've looked at the footage. I'm not exactly there with you. No offense, but I think it was Robinson. That's my opinion, but we can argue about that all day. So we're going to move on from that though. This is from Losh Hate. He says, "Do we know who asked Charlie the question?" Boyfriend? No, we actually do know. We do know who asked Charlie the question. That person actually has made a social media video. We know. I don't remember their name off the top of my head, but yeah, we do know who asked Charlie the final question that he was in the process of answering as he was shot. We do know that. That is known. And that person has been interrogated also. Now I appreciate that. Thank you. I see real quick one more big super chat here. This is from Nathan Russell. Matt, why has nobody covered the fact that Charlie was shot in the chest plate? What? The failure or misuse of the armor allowed the bullet to ricochet into the neck and head. Charlie would be alive today if he had the correct armor on. Okay, listen, folks. I understand. Listen, no offense. I understand there is a desire to have secret information and find some, secret angle that nobody else has found. I get I understand that desire. I'm just not really with you guys here on the conspiracies. I haven't heard anything at all about a chest plate. I don't even know what you're talking about. We all saw the video. He got shot in the neck. I saw it. I saw the video. I watched the video 10 times. I regret to say he got shot in the neck. I saw it happen. We saw the bullet exit out of the back of the neck. I don't know what. I'm not. Listen, guys, just respectfully, the conspiracies, I'm not with you guys. I'm not there. I'm not with you on the conspiracy thing. Apologies. So I'm not really going to engage with that. What I want to do is kind of talk about what we do know, and I'm not going to go off in conspiracy land. I apologize for that. I apologize, but I'm just going to keep on moving. I appreciate that super chat, though. No disrespect. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, and then this is from Amtrue. There was an LGBT cult that murdered a... Guys, can we please talk about what we're actually talking about? Can you guys do me a favor here? Can we please just talk about what we are talking about? What is going... Do you guys think Bigfoot was involved? Maybe Bigfoot was up on the rooftop and then Bigfoot got into a UFO and fled the scene, and now Bigfoot, who's the assassin, is actually on Mars right now. Guys, please, can we please just talk about the goddamn issue at hand without getting off in the weeds and making stuff up, please? Okay, thank you. Good God. Out of respect for the situation, out of respect for Charlie Kirk, out of respect for this, can we actually talk about reality here, please? Thank you. Out of respect for the dynamic, thank you. Okay. The motive and political ideology of Robinson, 22 years old, are subjects of intense online debate. Not really. I think we know what the motive is. He was a far-left radical. We know what the motive is. He etched into his shell casings, fascist, catch this, fascist, meaning that he thought Charlie Kirk was a fascist. You know what, listen, I'm going to make a request. Guys, don't even super chat. Listen, the super chats, I'm not in the mood. I'm already frustrated with the internet thing. I'm already stressed out with all of this. I'm not going to do the whole schizophrenic conspiracy super chat thing right now. Just don't super chat. I'm not going to read them. I'm telling you right now, I'm upfront. It's to make, listen, I'm not covering this news to make money. I'm not here to make money. I'm here about holding the radical left accountable. That's why I'm here. Fuck the money. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here for the super chats. Okay? If you super chat, I appreciate it. That's great. I'm not here trying to make as much money as possible. What I want is to hold the far left, radical left, the violent left accountable. I'm not going to sit here and read schizophrenic conspiracy super chats. I'm not doing it. Okay? I'm going to keep to the story. We're going to keep to the narrative here. Thank you. I am done getting bogged down in this stuff. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just not in the mood. Not doing it. The motive and political ideology of Robinson 22 are subjects of intense online debate. Some conservatives have insisted he's an unhinged leftist. He is. He is. We know that. We know that. He told us that. The shooter engraved on his shell casings what his motives were. He engraved on his shell casings anti-fascist rhetoric from the World War II era, the Ciao Bella, Ciao Bella, Ciao Bella thing. He called Charlie Kirk a fascist. We know. The shooter explicitly told us what his motives are. And now we know for a fact the shooter was also in a homosexual relationship with a transgender. Does this sound like something a far-right person would do? Do you know many extreme far-right radicals that are dating transgender people? Or that are calling other people fascists and then killing them? No. Do we know many far-right radicals that are furries, that are homosexual furries? No. Liberals have pushed back by pointing to Robinson's conservative upbringing in Utah. It is true. It seems like Robinson's family is a traditional all-American conservative family. Does that mean that that Tyler himself is a conservative? No. In fact, I'll tell you something here right now. My mother is far left. My dad is a Democrat voter. Both of my parents are Democrat voters. My mother, I would say, is far left. I'm not. As you can see, I am not. Sometimes kids go in a different direction than their parents, right? Just because your parents are some way does not mean that the kid is going to be some way or that you're going to go some way. I think that is a massive leap. Crazy conclusion to come to. In a Daily Mail interview Friday, family matriarch Debbie Robinson said the family supports President Trump's MAGA movement. Once again, my family voted for Kamala Harris. Doesn't mean I did. She said, most of my family members are Republican, she said. I don't know a single one who's a Democrat. Okay. Once again, I just don't really think that means a whole lot. Obviously, in this case, the apple has fallen pretty far away from the tree. Regrettably. Family members have told reporters that Tyler Robinson had become, quote, more political in recent years and had expressed interest in Kirk's visit to the Utah Valley campus in Orem, Utah. He expressed interest in it. There was a family dinner that took place where Tyler was talking about, hey, Charlie Kirk is coming. So what seems to be the case, this is the story, this is what seems to be the situation right now, is that Tyler, he's 18 or 19, he goes off to university. I think he actually did one term at a university, and then he dropped out, and then he went to a technical school after dropping out of university, and then he ended up dating and moving in with this transgender person. And so over the course of 2.5 or 3 years, he just became, now he's out of the nest. He's not surrounded by his parents every day. He's living in a house with this transgender boyfriend of his, or whatever you want to call it, this homosexual relationship. I would guess this also seems to be a part of the dynamic here, is that he was involved in some online far left radical echo chamber type of communities where he's further radicalized by these far left insane people. And then he decides to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Seems to be the case. Cox said a Robinson family member told investigators that the accused shooter recently had a conversation in which someone said Kirk, quote, was spreading hate and was full of hate. But it is unclear from Cox's remarks who actually made that statement. No, we listened to that. It was the shooter that said that, the shooter. I got to say, Axios obviously is a little bit more of a left-wing website, and I can tell they're trying to play a little bit of coverage here. Axios obviously does not want the shooter to be a member of the far left. You can kind of tell the way that they're trying to put a little bit of a spin on this. LGBTQ activists have criticized media outlets for erroneously reporting in the hours after the shooting that a bullet casing from the scene included a message related to transgender people. Well, that was true. That story was true. In fact, I'm trying to find. Okay, here are a list of the things that the shooter Tyler etched onto his shell casings. Notice his bulges. Oh, whoa, what's this? This is a homosexual, furry, transgender reference. This is a gay, transgender, furry reference. So yeah, this is what that initial report was. Hey, fascist, catch, was also etched onto the shell casings. You know, the implication being that Charlie Kirk was a fascist. Go catch the bullet. Hey, catch. This right here, this is also damning. Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. These are song lyrics from a World War II era Italian anti-fascist song. The Italian anti-fascists, which were, rebelling against Mussolini's fascist regime, this was one of their resistance songs, one of their anti-fascist songs. Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. So, the guy, the assassin here is etching onto his shell casings, transgender, homosexual, transgender jokes, anti-fascist song lyrics, and he's calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. Once again, it's not really a mystery. And then, of course, also this person is in a romantic relationship with a transgender person. Not exactly confusing here. Let's talk about the transgender roommate, the love interest here. In December of 2024, Lance Twiggs, which is the transgender individual's name, Lance Twiggs, the transgender roommate of Charlie Kirk's shooter, changed his Steam name from Lance to Luna. So, before the transition, his name was Lance, and then after transitioning into a woman, decided to adopt the name of Luna. The account matches his TikTok username and links to a Reddit profile active in transgender forums discussing hormones and transitioning. Astounding. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have actually found this individual's Reddit account. Transgender DIY, do it yourself. This is something that the transgender roommate wrote on Reddit. Questions about hormone replacement therapy for the gender fluid. You'll have to be genetically lucky to get good hip growth, and no, hormone replacement therapy will not stop facial hair from growing. It may stop you from getting more than you have, and it will slow beard growth, but I've not heard of someone completely reversing their facial hair growth solely off of HRT. Oh my God. Relaxafine has been inconsistent at best from what I've read around the internet. It should stop or slow breast growth while allowing you to continue feminization, but I've read a lot more stories of people being frustrated that Relaxafine isn't working as well as they hoped. So there you have it. So this is the roommate. This is the transgender roommate who is, in all likelihood, a co-conspirator with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Tyler Robinson's roommate, who tipped off FBI, is identified as the family refuses to deny transgender motive. Once again, Tyler Robinson's his own family is refusing to deny the transgender motive with this assassination. His own family refuses to deny that, which means, let's keep moving on here, folks. Steve Bannon gives his opinion on this. I want to see what he has to say about this.
The assassination and murder of Charlie Kirk. We can't have a Jack Kennedy thing. We can't have a grassy knoll. We can't do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We have to go through, we have to be relentless in tearing this apart and getting down. can a kid like that get up and get access, walk up those stairs with the gun, assemble it, and get ready to take a shot? That's a very difficult shot.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. Listen, I actually like Steve Bannon. I have got to shut down some of these conspiracy crazy ideas. Listen, it is how can I say this real quick? It is really important, I think, when we're trying to solve the problems we have, to not get hung up in irrational conspiracy theories. And by the way, I think some conspiracy theories are rational. Some of them are legitimate. And we could have a conversation about those someday. But this notion, we saw this for the entire first day before we had a name for the shooter, was, I had people in the live chat saying, this guy, he has to be a professional. He has to be a highly trained operator, because there's no way that some random person could make a 200-meter shot with a bolt-action rifle. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Is it really impossible? Do you really think it's impossible to make a 200-meter shot with a bolt-action rifle? In fact, by the way, the fact that Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck, tells me that this shooter was aiming for the head and didn't account for the drop of the bullet, or the optic was slightly off center. I read this situation. The shooter was actually really not that skilled, was aiming for Charlie's head, had some improper calculations here. The bullet dropped and hit him in the neck. That's how I read this. I think in a way the shooter actually kind of missed his target. Still killed him, regrettably. But the point is, you do not have to be some expert, Navy SEAL Delta operator sharpshooter to hit a 200-meter yard shot with a bolt-action rifle. Come on, give me a break. This is not some magic bullet shot.
For a professional assassin like Tej Gill, who in defense of his country on 16 tours was a sniper, was a Navy SEAL sniper, the best of the best, those guys will tell you.
What?
They could do it, but they're the best trained people in the world to do it. That was not an easy shot.
Okay. You can go on YouTube right now. You can find videos of 9-year-old boys hitting shots with a bolt action from 200 meters out. You can go on YouTube right this very second and find 9-year-old boys firing a bolt action rifle for the first time in their life. Their dad is teaching them how to do it for the first time ever, and they're hitting these shots within 30 minutes of picking up a rifle. I like literally, this is not a difficult shot to make. It is just not.
Where's the information? Where is the briefing today? Are we just going to be fobbed off? Is that what this is? You're just going to fob us off? There's something brewing, and it's bigger than all of us. This has been building for many, 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 many years. And Mark Mitchell tells us on Monday we're going to wake up.
I have to say, once again, I have to pause real quick. Listen, I understand this is a human desire. I find myself wanting this desire. There has to be, and it's this desire to try to find and discover the secret plot, the secret story. There's got to be something grander going on here. This is my warning. This is my warning before all of us, and it's a warning to myself also. We need to make sure that we are not going down bottomless rabbit holes that have no bottom, that are based on nothing. We have no proof or substance. We need to make sure we avoid that, because if we start going down all of these substanceless rabbit holes, we start listen, all this does is distract us from the problem at hand, the reality we have, that we actually do have. The reality is we are living in a country with God knows how many legitimate, violent, far-left radicals that are picking up guns and trying to kill us. That is the problem. Whether or not there's some shadow cabal that's pulling the strings and they're sending out highly trained assassins and da-da-da-da-da, I don't know, maybe, but let's listen. That might be a problem too. I don't know. We can talk about that someday maybe, but right now, listen, we have a legitimate problem. We actually genuinely do just have an entire generation of violent, propagandized far-left radicals. And if every time one of them pops up and kills somebody and does something terrible, we refuse to acknowledge that problem and we instead start focusing on all these crazy conspiracies, all this does is prevent us from tackling the real problem at hand that is directly in front of us. Okay? That's how I feel. Now, I'm going to take a quick look at some of these super chats. Taking a look at this. This is from Boba Jet. He says, I was in the Marines for 13 years. The shot was 150 to 180 yards away. With the scope at that distance, I've seen the worst shooters hit center mass when shooting with a weapon that has a scope on it. Thank you, and thank you for your service. Thank you. There you have it. You know, I'll tell you something funny, okay? The reason why I know what I'm saying about this rifle stuff is because I'm not a particularly good shot. I was never in the Marines. I'm not an expert tactician, and I can make these shots. I have, in my life, maybe 20 hours behind a rifle, and this is between bolt action, AR-15, all of it. I don't have a ton of rifle time in my life. In my entire life, maybe 20 hours. I don't know. And I just go to the shooting range, and I have fun, and then I go home just for a couple hours here and there. I am by no means an expert marksman, and I know I can do it. So I'm thinking if I can do it, and I'm not an expert, it's not that hard. Okay? And so that's how we feel. And so there you go. You have this corroboration. We have our Marine in the chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I saw a lot of you guys in the chat saying the same thing also. So thank you. I appreciate that. We have another big super chat. This is from Little Mama in Texas, from Texas. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that super chat. We're going to move on here. This is Andy No. Andy No has been reporting on Antifa for a very long time. He's one of the experts in the country as it relates to Antifa. He says, keep track of who's lying and do not let them get away with it. They know what they're doing. The evidence known so far has shown that the gunman was a leftist and may have been even more inclined to become radical as a rejection of his parents' conservatism. This is very common. Oh, curious idea here. That this young man, this assassin, was raised in an all-American traditional conservative household, and then he decides to rebel. He wants to rebel. And what is the best way to rebel? I guess not best. I don't know. I don't even know the word for it, but I don't know what is the most evil way that he can rebel. Assassinate Charlie Kirk, I guess. Maybe that is a component here. Maybe that is a part of this. The lies about the suspect being a far-right Christian nationalist come from leftists on Reddit and social media who are being amplified by left-wing influencers and Democrats. True. Yes. True. Thank you. Thank you. It is to mislead and misdirect from the rifle cartridges having Antifa propaganda on them. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. A sensible take. A sensible opinion here. Yes, I totally agree. I'll take a look at some super chats here. As someone who used to do security, Tim Bob, thank you, Tim Bob, I've learned that when investigating, we need to craft stories from facts, not emotions, as it only causes confusion. I agree. Listen, all we can do is talk about the information that we do actually tangibly have in front of us. If you want to start coming up with conspiracies, and you know what, maybe some of them are true. I don't know. We just don't have proof. I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I'm wasting my time talking about things that we don't have proof for. And you know what? Maybe these things are actually true. I don't know, but we don't have proof. So it's like, whatever. And a good example of this is like UFOs or aliens, you know, whether or not the government is hiding unidentified flying object information from us and whatever. It's like, well, I'm never going to know. I'm never going to have proof. Like I'm never going to know for a fact whether or not our government is in contact with aliens until an alien is like standing on my front lawn and I'm having a conversation with him. Geeble, gobble, gibble. It's like until then, it's all just me speculating on the internet, and I feel like it's a waste of my time because whether I speculate this way or whether I speculate that way, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really have an impact on the world. It doesn't have an impact on my life, whether or not I believe the alien narrative or not. It's like, well, who cares? I don't know. I'm not going to know. So here's what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep talking about the things that we actually do have proof and evidence for, you know, that we can actually have a more serious conversation about, I guess. Until then, I'm just, no, like I said, no offense. I'm just going to avoid the pure speculation conversations. That's kind of where I'm at. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to take a look at some more of these. What would you ask of liberals in these circumstances? Well, this is what I've been saying for days now. This is what I've been tweeting as well, is that, listen, you might remember the liberals, the far left, they have been using a phrase for years now. And the phrase is silence is violence. Silence is violence. You know what? I'm ready to flip that phrase back onto them now. Listen, if you're a far left, if you're a liberal, if you're a progressive, you need to disavow this. You need to disavow this political violence. You need to disavow the assassination of Charlie Kirk wholeheartedly and without any conditions, unconditionally and wholeheartedly. If you're one of these far members of the left, if you're saying, yeah, Charlie Kirk shouldn't have been killed, political violence is bad, but he was a fascist and he kind of deserved it and blah, blah, blah. Unconditional. You need to disavow this violence, the assassination, the blood is on your hands unless you need to disavow this now. Unconditionally, wholeheartedly, with your chest out. I disavow this, no holds barred, unconditionally, period. Political violence has no place in this country, period. Ifs, ands, or buts. That's the end of the story. I don't care. Listen, because by the way, if we start going down this route of, well, you know, we are allowed to assassinate people that we disagree with, where does it end? Then this country is just going to devolve into having a warlord. Then we're just going to become a third world hellhole where we kill people based on, you know, minor political disagreements. Listen, there's a lot of people that I disagree with in this country. Does that mean that I get to kill them? Are you, listen, hey, far left, are you sure are you really sure that you want to go down that path? You want to set the precedent that every time we have a disagreement, we get to start shooting each other? Is that really the path you want to start going down? Because I have a feeling that's not the path you want to go down. So let's go ahead and start disavowing political violence wholeheartedly, unconditionally. And if you don't, this is how I feel. If they don't do that, if they refuse to do that, as far as I'm concerned, they are complicit. They are on board with the violence. They are happy to see more of it. And I mean, by the way, we know that a lot of them feel that way because they've been celebrating this for a long time, for days now. Another one, thank you. This is funny guy. He says, I'm with you, Matt. All these theories distract from the real issue that the radical left wants us gone. Thank you. Yes, I agree. I don't see anyone gaining from Charlie Kirk's death besides the left. They removed one of our greatest voices. I agree. You know, now we've been saying that Charlie Kirk is more than a man. Now he's a symbol. Now he's a martyr. You know, in a lot of ways, you see this happen where people in death, they become more powerful than they ever were in life, and that's a very Christ-like, you know, dynamic where Christ himself became more powerful in death. His message was more powerful in death. And then, you know, I'm kind of a nerdy guy. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I don't know why my mind just went here. I'm remembering Obi-Wan Kenobi. When Obi-Wan Kenobi is fighting Darth Vader, and what does he do? He allows Darth Vader to kill him. He says, Darth, strike me down, and I will become more powerful than you could ever imagine, right? And that's the process he had to go through. And so, you know, this might even be a Charlie Kirk dynamic, where Charlie Kirk is more powerful than ever before. His message is more powerful than it ever was in death, more so than in life. So there you go. So I appreciate that super chat. Sorry, I'm kind of a nerdy guy. Sorry about that. But anyway, no, tangentially related, I suppose. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the super chats, folks. Did we skip any of these here? No, we didn't. Okay, we're up to speed. Let's keep going through this. Now, we have internet detectives here reading through this stuff. Take a look at this. Thanks to the work of some people, the hard work of some people on the internet, we have a couple shocking revelations. An account on Twitter, it was just deleted because it got exposed, existed that matched the exact name of a TikTok account that followed the roommate of the shooter, the transgender roommate of the shooter. The second image here is him confirming it's the same TikTok. Okay, so take a look at this. The shocking part here is the fact that it not only this account that was linked to the roommate not only celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, but then used the term, pardon my language, "we fucking did it" in one of the tweets that announced Charlie Kirk's death. So let's break this down here. Up top, we are looking at the followers, people that are following the TikTok account of the transgender roommate. This is the transgender roommate, Landclotl. One of the followers here is named Sherbrum75M. They found this person's TikTok account, Sherbrum75M. That's the account. There is a Twitter account under the same name, Sherbrum75M. The face I make before I get shot in the neck and dying 1 or 3 hours later. This was posted by somebody that was following the transgender roommate of the assassin. Despicable post. And then Sherbrum, after the news breaks that Charlie Kirk has died, Sherbrum75 posts on this account, "We fucking did it." So now I'm looking at this. Now I'm seeing, listen, when we're talking about these violent far left, radicalized online groups, I'm thinking, is that what is going on here? Was the shooter, Tyler the assassin, the transgender roommate, this individual here, they're all linked up together on social media, either killing Charlie Kirk or celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk? Is this another classic story of a radical far left violent group on the internet that is trying to create political violence in the country? Because this would not be the first time that we have seen this over the last couple of years, time and time again. A lot of these transgender school shooters, they themselves, in fact, there was one 2 weeks ago, literally 2 weeks ago, this transgender individual that shot up a Christian elementary school, killed some Christian kids at a Catholic school. Terrible. These people oftentimes are part of these radicalized echo chambers where they are instigating each other to carry out political violence. Hey, do it. Hey, go shoot up this place. Hey, go kill this person. Hey, you got to do it. Hey, go do it. They're all part. That's just twisted online community. And a lot of them are part of the same community. And to me, I'm reading through this information and we're connecting the dots. Seems like what's going on here. Seems like what is the dynamic at play here? Anything else? Where are all of the Democrat, pardon my language, retards who said Charlie Kirk's killer was a straight white MAGA Republican? They have all gone into hiding now. It's almost like they realized the public won't believe a guy who is sleeping with a transgender furry is a MAGA Republican. This is the transgender furry roommate. And I mean, listen, beyond this story with the transgender furry gay roommate, the shooter himself inscribed a bunch of anti-fascist rhetoric on his shell casings. The shooter himself. The shooter did that. He etched onto the shell casings, "Hey fascist, catch this. Ciao Bella Bella Ciao," which is the anti-fascist song from the 1930s. From Italy. It's like, listen, this shooter was not trying to conceal the fact that he thought Charlie Kirk was a fascist, and that's why he's going to kill Charlie Kirk. This is not a mystery, as far as I'm concerned. And then, of course, it comes out today that the assassin is dating a transgender furry. Go figure. Okay. Moving on. Matt Walsh chimes in again. He says, Charlie Kirk's assassin had a transgender boyfriend, called Charlie Kirk a fascist, has been confirmed a leftist by both his friends and his family, is a confirmed leftist by top officials on the record, including the governor of Utah and the Utah State FBI office. Every official involved here, Utah governor, Utah FBI, has said this guy is a radical leftist. His friends and family, we saw videos of that this morning, have come out and said this guy is a radical leftist. He called Charlie Kirk a fascist. He's reciting 1930s era anti-fascist songs. He has a transgender furry gay boyfriend. How many far-right extremists do you know that are dating gay transsexual furries? I don't know many. Personally, I don't know many. And also, he killed one of the most iconic conservatives in the country, Charlie Kirk, perhaps the most iconic conservative commentator in the country. And yet, the leftists will still claim that he's right-wing. These people have no shame, no integrity, no honor, vile and repugnant to their core. Thank you, Matt Walsh. Couldn't agree more. Now, we have breaking news from Benny Johnson as of about 90 minutes ago. Take a look at this. Benny Johnson says he just spoke to a top official at the FBI who made it very clear that they have not ruled out co-conspirators in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Quote, that assumption is premature. This investigation is just beginning. An enormous amount of evidence has been seized, both digital and physical. So per Benny Johnson from the FBI, they are saying they have not, in fact, ruled out that there are co-conspirators here. I think it's fair to say we already know who a co-conspirator is. Seems to me like the roommate was a co-conspirator. And then maybe you have an online community of far-right radicals that are a part of this as well, instigating this type of stuff. The investigation is ongoing. There could be co-conspirators. That might be how the gay roommate, the gay transgender roommate, was involved as a co-conspirator. In fact, by the way, I said this earlier today, folks. I was reading that the trial of the assassin is going to be broadcast live on TV, which means when that happens, when this trial is live, folks, come back. We're going to be here. We're going to be covering every single step of this entire story. Okay? So, hey, we as a community, we are going to be covering that trial whenever it is. I don't know when it is. Could be a year from now. I don't know. Hopefully sooner than that. We are going to be reacting to that, watching that, breaking down every step of that along the way. So thank you. Make sure to subscribe. We are live right now on Rumble, Matt Morse TV, and live right now on YouTube, Matt Morse TV. Thank you very much. FBI sources assure me the public will, quote, know everything about the dark internet history, the chats, and the affiliations of Charlie Kirk's left-wing political assassin. Now, is it possible that the assassin and the transsexual roommate deleted all of their internet history, all of their chat logs? Yeah, but who's going to be able to recover that? The FBI. So even if they did try to, delete the evidence of they were planning this, they've got co-conspirators, the FBI says, we're going to recover that stuff. We're going to bring that to, it's going to be part of the case here. Okay. The source then alluded to some online groups attempting to delete or destroy evidence. And there it is. The FBI, however, said, we have everything. We are focused on the radicalization element. The truth will not be hidden or buried or classified. The public will know. Now, Discord is an online chat program. By the way, I myself have a Discord server. I've got 8,000 people of you guys, 8,000 of you guys in a Discord. It's like a big instant messaging program is what it is. Mostly we're talking politics in there all day. But anyway, so as it would seem, this shooter and his transgender boyfriend and maybe various members of their community, maybe they were planning this assassination in a Discord chat server. Now, Discord, actually, the company, they came out with a public statement. They said that they looked into it and there was no wrong behavior or wrongdoing on their program, on their server. Okay, so I question whether or not Discord is covering that up. Do you guys agree? I question whether I'm not sure that I trust Discord on that. This is what I want. I want the FBI to get involved in this kid's Discord server, this guy's Discord server, maybe subpoena Discord and try to recover the logs, recover the chat logs, because I'm not sure if I trust Discord on that. Every time there's a mass shooting with a young transgender person, Discord always comes out. They always make the same statement. Nope, nothing happened. Nope, nothing bad happened on our program. Nothing bad. So I want to see the FBI subpoena Discord and try to get some chat logs here. I don't know. I think Discord is a little bit woke. Let's keep on reading here. I saw that Tim Pool himself posted something here, and I think this is totally on point. Tim Pool said, this is why they feared Charlie. This is why they killed Charlie Kirk. Take a look at this. College campuses were historically dark blue, but college campuses across the country shifted towards Trump in 2024. And you can see all across the entire country, every single little arrow going right, red, is a college campus that shifted to the right to varying degrees in favor of Donald Trump. There was a rightward shift in tons of these college campuses. And really, why? Why? In large part, Charlie Kirk, his name, his brand, TPUSA, this was synonymous with campus conservatism. Charlie Kirk dedicated his entire career to traveling across the country. I wonder how many states Charlie Kirk personally himself visited. Might have been all 50. I don't know. Anyway, he was all over the place. And Charlie Kirk was in large part solely responsible for this massive shift with young men across the country. Really. And as Tim Pool says, this is why they feared him. This is why they killed him. Because they realized, Charlie Kirk, this guy's too effective. This guy is too effective. Wait a minute, young Americans, young men in this country are voting for Trump. They're voting conservative. That's not supposed to happen. Young people are supposed to vote Democrat. We got to get rid of this guy. And they did. I saw this on Twitter. I'm sorry, on Reddit. As you all know, Reddit is a far left radical echo chamber propagandizing people like a lot of these other websites. Reddit had today, I saw a moment of introspection, says they are becoming self-aware. There's a thread here titled, Sane Redditors Viewing the Popular Posts Today on the website. Are we the bad guys? This post is saying all of the sane people, the normal people on Reddit are saying, wait a minute, what's going on here? Are we the bad guys? Because I don't know if you guys have been on Reddit over the last couple days. This website is collectively celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Thousands and thousands, all of the top posts, all of the biggest threads on this website, the top discussions on this website, it's people that are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. This website is insane. In fact, I would go so far as to say this website, Reddit, is in some part culpable for the death of Charlie Kirk because they have allowed this violent rhetoric to exist on the website for years now. And if you allow violent rhetoric like this to exist on the website for this long, yeah, at some point, somebody is going to pick up a gun and do something. They have made no effort to moderate this website and all the violent rhetoric thereon. And so now some of them are saying, wait a minute, are we the bad guys? Yeah. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Elon Musk chimed in. He gave his thoughts on the Charlie Kirk situation earlier today. I want to play this video with you folks. Take a look at this.
And then you see how much violence there's on the left. With our friend Charlie Kirk getting murdered in cold blood this week. And people on the left celebrating it openly. The left is the party of murder. And celebrating murder.
Yeah.
I mean, let that sink in for a minute.
Look at that. This is, I'm going to talk beyond Elon Musk here for a second. There were massive protests, peaceful protests in London today. White, Anglo-Saxon, ethnically indigenous British people are rising up. They're trying to take their country back. They're sick of all the immigration. So these were predominantly anti-immigration protests going on in Britain today, but they had a segment, they were talking about Charlie, and you can hear, and so Elon Musk, called into this situation. He was giving his thoughts. And what do you hear in the, you hear all of these British people in the background. It's beautiful. They're saying, Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. They're holding up signs of Charlie and his beautiful wife. Flip it around. That's his beauty, him and his wife and his kid, I think there. So listen, Charlie Kirk, the love for this man and his family and his movement, it's fair to say it has transcended the United States. You see people voicing their love for him all over the world, really. And then, of course, back to Elon Musk. Elon Musk just very clearly says the left is the party of murder. The left is the party of political violence. The left is the party of violence. And it is. He's totally right. He's totally on point. It is. It is. And this is why what I was saying earlier is true. Listen, if you are on the left and you are not wholeheartedly, unconditionally condemning Charlie Kirk's assassination, then you're complicit. That's how I listen. And I can't be friends with you. I can't negotiate with you. We cannot have a respectful civil discourse. If you are on the left and you are turning a blind eye to the violence that people on your side of the aisle are carrying out, we're not on the same page. We're not. We don't have the same goals of having a healthy, functioning society. If you are on the left, you need to condemn this violence wholeheartedly, unconditionally. And I say unconditionally because we've seen a lot of conditional condemnations. A lot of people on the left, they are condemning the violence conditionally. And what I mean by that is they're saying, yeah, political violence is bad, but Charlie Kirk dedicated his entire life to spreading hate and violent far-right extremism. And so really, in a way, it kind of makes sense why he died. Maybe he even kind of deserved it, blah, blah, blah. You hear a lot of that. I'm hearing a lot of that from people on the left. No, fuck you and fuck that. You condemn the violence unconditionally. Political violence is bad. I condemn the assassination of Charlie Kirk, period. No ifs, ands, or buts, period. End of conversation. Political violence is wrong. And if you are unwilling to do that, then the dialogue is over. Then we are no longer, a conversation cannot be had with these people. That's how I feel. So that is the call. That is the call that I am issuing. That is the request I'm making to people on the left. You don't have to vote for President Trump. You can vote for Kamala Harris. I don't care. Condemn the violence. You can you can love your transgenders in the bathrooms. Whatever. Okay, we'll talk about that later. We disagree, obviously. I don't care. Condemn the violence. Right now, in this moment, condemn the violence unconditionally, period. That's what they need to do. Let's move on here. You know, I really should take a look at some of the super chats here. I really should. I want to take a look at this. I don't want to ignore you guys here. I think people want to believe the conspiracy so much is because Charlie's life meant so much more than to be taken by some 22-year-old crazy leftist. People are grasping at any theory because we cannot accept the loss. You need to understand the nature of the loss and why the loss took place if you ever want to even have the possibility of stopping more loss from happening. You need to understand why Kirk lost his life, the type of people that took his life, if you ever want to stop it again. Because if you are grasping at vapors, if you're grasping at smoke, if you're just spending all your time focusing on conspiracies, you're never going to actually solve the problem. You're not. You need to be grounded in reality. Thank you. Watching for around a year and a half. Keep doing what you do. 45 goals. U.S. Congress. Look it up. While it's changed slightly in context of time, okay, I'm not going to look that up right now, but hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You've been watching a year and a half. Listen, I've only been making political content here for 10 months. So you are busted. Prior to 10 months ago, I was over on Twitch. I was doing a lot of I was doing a lot of video game streams, still talking a little bit of politics. But really, this full-time political commentary, guys, we are where we are. We're here right now. This community, all of us together, we are less than a year old. Everything that we have built here on YouTube, we've got almost 600,000 subscribers, over 500,000. You guys are tuning in. We have right now, look at this, on Rumble and YouTube, we have almost 20,000 viewers. Okay, between Rumble and YouTube right now, Matt Morris TV. 10 months. This is where we are, 10 months right now. And the reason why, I'm going to take a guess as to why you guys are here, as to why you guys are tuning in, as to why you have subscribed on Rumble and YouTube over the last 10 months. We're just sick of it. We're just sick of what the far left, the radical left has done to this country, of what they are still doing to this country. They are killing us. They are celebrating it. We are sick. We, the people, we, the American people, we, patriotic America, loving Americans, we are sick of the damage that they have caused. And so every day, you know what? I have already committed my life to combating the radical progressive left. Now, I am in front of everybody here today. I just want to issue a recommitment publicly. I am doubling down. I'm going to work harder than ever. I'm going to make more content than ever. I will hold these people's feet to the fire. I will make sure there is accountability for these people. We need to shut this stuff down. I'm not calling for violence. I want Donald Trump to get involved. Here's what I do want. I want these people to lose their jobs. And we are already seeing that happening. These people that are on social media celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, calling for more violence, I want these people not to be killed. I don't want violence. I do want them to be fired and held accountable and have their lives destroyed. I do want them to be debanked. I want them to be homeless, living under a bridge by the end of the month. That's what I want. And the reason why is because this is the precedent that they have set for us. These people have spent the last decade trying to systematically destroy our lives and get our people fired just for, if you rewind 3 years ago, if you on social media said, hey, I don't really want transgender people in my daughter's bathroom, you lose your job. You lose your bank account. You're banned off every single social media website. So you know what? It is time that what's the saying? It is time that the roosters come home. Okay, it is time that these people get their comeuppance. It is time that we start dispensing some comeuppances. Okay, the day of comeuppance is upon us. That is how I feel. And so you know what? I am, like I said publicly, I am recommitting to spending all of my energy every single day, 7 days a week, to making sure that those comeuppances are adequately dispensed. And I know there's someone here that feels the same way. His name is Stephen Miller. Take a look.
Where the left calls people enemies of the republic, calls them fascists, says they're Nazis, says they're evil, says they have to be removed, and then prints their addresses. What do you think they're trying to do? They are trying to inspire someone to murder them. That is their objective.
Yes.
That is their intent. And when you see online, Sean, as we've seen for the last few days, tape after tape after tape of federal workers, bureaucrats, staffers in the Pentagon, educators, professors, healthcare workers, nurses, celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. These are radicalized people. There is a domestic terrorism movement in this country. And let me tell you something I've not shared with anybody, but
domestic
the last message that Charlie Kirk gave to me before he joined his creator in heaven was he said that we have to dismantle and take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence. That was the last message that he sent me before that assassin stole him from all of us. And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate, you want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile.
You will live in exile. You know what I want? I want thousands of arrests. I want tens of thousands of arrests. God knows how many. How many of these people do we have? You know what? This is my opinion. If you are one of these people that has been masked off on social media, not just celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, but advocating, saying, hey, listen, we need more violence. And those people exist. We've seen a lot of those people. And they're not even making an effort to conceal their identity. They are public. It is real people showing their faces. We know who they are. If you are saying we need more death, we need more political violence in this country, I want those people sitting in a federal prison cell. That is what I want. That is disgusting. We cannot have a country operating that way. Those people have no place in a righteous and noble civilized society, which is what this country ought to be. This is what this country used to be before we turned a blind eye to the insane, violent rhetoric of these people. Charlie Kirk's suspected killer is awaiting charges right now. We have a report coming out of Fox News. Take a look. But yeah, we need arrests, not just for the killer, for the people that are advocating for violence. That's what we need.
We have full team coverage outside the jailhouse where the suspect is being held. Paul Morrow is standing by with exclusive reporting and analysis. But first, we go to Matt Finn for the very latest in the investigation. Hi, Matt. What can you tell us?
Hi, Anita. The alleged assassin was booked into the Utah County Jail behind me. Our understanding is that he is still here. The actual crime scene not far from where I'm standing, but the suspect was taken into custody a couple hundred miles south in the St. George area. He was arrested on suspicion of capital murder. The formal charges are expected to be announced on Tuesday when Robinson is scheduled to make his first appearance. Now, yesterday, we watched a gray Dodge Challenger being towed away from the family home of the alleged killer in the St. George, Utah area. Authorities say Robinson drove a gray Challenger on and off the property of Utah Valley University when he assassinated Charlie Kirk. Now, prior to the car getting towed, we saw Utah police tape the hood of the car, appearing to seal it. Also at the family home, a heavy law enforcement presence yesterday. We saw FBI agents on the property, and at one point we were urged to immediately get back. Law enforcement telling us there was some type of threat that was eventually cleared. Now, last night, Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, gave a powerful speech in which she said the evildoers who did this do not realize what they've unleashed. I spoke to an eyewitness on...
Speaking about these evil people on the far left, we watched Erica Kirk's speech last night. You know what I saw this morning when I woke up in the aftermath of her speech? I saw people on Reddit. I went on Reddit, and I saw people on Reddit. They were saying, this woman is just as evil as her husband. She's got to be next. And I kid you not. And this thread, this post that I saw on Reddit had a couple hundred upvotes. Hundreds of people had upvoted this, saying that this widow who just lost her husband now needs to be assassinated as well. That type of stuff, that type of behavior, those people belong in a prison cell. Those people, that's the type of people I'm talking about.
Campus, who says the assassination is actually going to expand Charlie Kirk's reach.
I think it is the turning point, right? Everybody's going to hear his voice more than ever. I have so many people saying, did you know him? Like, did you, like, what was his thoughts? What was his, kind of principles that he was trying to, like, basically leave behind? So it's really impressive to me to see, like, all these people that really didn't know him before really want to know him now.
Yeah.
Also, a short while ago, Turning Point USA announcing, join us in celebrating the remarkable life and enduring legacy of Charlie Kirk and an American legend. Sunday, September 21st at State Farm Stadium, home of the Arizona Cardinals. So this is a stadium that hosts the Super Bowl and now is hosting a memorial for Charlie Kirk. So that really speaks to the impact and legacy he's leaving behind.
Yeah,
back to you guys.
It sure does, Matt. Thank you so much for that live report. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
As I understand it, there is a massive memorial, or just, I suppose that's the right word. People are showing up outside of the TP USA headquarters and bringing flowers and pictures and offerings and all types of stuff. It's really beautiful. The TP USA website has been up and down, up and down, up and down. And the reason why it's because it's getting overloaded. It's because you have so many people, thousands and thousands of people across the country trying to sign up, trying to participate in the TP USA program, get involved, excuse me. Gunter Odim, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. I'm taking a look at another one here. Matt, I'm a 55-year-old healthcare chief operating officer with very limited time to search for a trusted source of information. You provide great content and a trusted source for factual information. Great job, sir. The what's your name? It is the TOG vlog. The TOG vlog. Sir, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'm doing my best to cut through all of the bullshit because I'm like you. I get sick of, really, the last couple days is a perfect example of this. You have just an overwhelming volume of fake news. You've had people saying that Charlie Kirk's shooter is a far-right extremist that killed Charlie Kirk because Kirk wasn't far-right enough. This is the predominant narrative on the left right now. It's like, this is bull crap. This is bullshit. We need to cut through this stuff. We got to cut through this stuff. We got to set the record straight. Listen, Alex Jones is right about this. Alex Jones about this. And what specifically is Alex Jones right about? He says, we are in an info war. Info war? You've heard of that? Ladies and gentlemen, we are in an info war, the far left radical progressives. Listen, he is right. He is right. These people, they are trying to lie to the nation. They are intentionally trying to deceive and manipulate, spread fake news, propaganda every single day. That is their objective. They do not want you to know the truth. Seriously, they want you to believe their lies. He is right. He is right about that. Also, he's probably right about the gay frogs. I think somebody is making the frogs gay. Somebody's making our young Americans gay. You know that, by the way, off topic a little bit, but 20% of Gen Z, our youngest generation now, identifies as being gay. 20%. Somebody's making the frogs gay, and somebody is making Gen Z gay. I don't know who. I don't know why. But anyway, he's right about a couple things. Now, there's a video I want to play for you guys as it relates to this information war type of dynamic. I'll tell you what, listen, you know the last thing the far left radical progressives want you folks to be doing is tuning into a broadcast like this, is being a part of this community, because we are taking them to task every single day. Their worst nightmare is you folks tuning in, cutting through the bullshit with me, all of us together as a community. That is the last thing they want. Now, this is a message to President Trump. This young girl has uploaded on TikTok a message, a personal message to President Trump. And I think you guys are going to like this. President Trump himself, he got the message. He retweeted it. He posted this video on Truth Social. So President Trump has received the message. I want you guys to play this. Take a listen to this. I think you're going to like this.
Alrighty, this message is for President Trump and his administration. If you stay to watch the video, please tag him down below, share, and repost so we can try to get this to him as quickly as possible and hope that he can do something with this. President Trump, as a supporter who voted for you 3 times, I am hoping and praying that you will revisit what Barack Obama and Joe Biden got rid of back in 2013, which is the Smith-Mundt Act, which held news corporations accountable for lying to the American people and spreading propaganda instead of truth. I think instead of bringing it back as a Smith-Mundt Act, you name it the Charlie Kirk Act, you make it a law, and you make it damn near impossible for these people to continue to lie to the American public, which has brought chaos, hatred, division, and anarchy all across this country. Fines out the ass, which will damn near bankrupt their companies should they lie to the American people ever again. They can have their opinions, that's fine. They need to state that it is their opinion and that it is not a fact. Because of their constant lies, a man lost his life over it. Because of the constant hateful rhetoric of calling him a fascist and a Nazi and a white supremacist and a bigot, the same thing that they called you, this man is dead. I think this would be a great legacy for him to have a law named after him to force journalists to finally start telling the truth and having the integrity that they have lacked for over a decade. I hope that this gets to you. I hope that you think about it and that you pass it into law. Because we are on a dangerous path right now with the constant lies and the propaganda. And that doesn't end just at news journalists. It needs to go to content creators who consistently spread lies and propaganda and half-truths across the internet.
So I'm safe. All right, I was thinking, what about the content creators? Okay, so I'm safe. I'm not saying any lies. Listen, everything we're saying here, we are straight as an arrow. I'm not worried about this at all. I'm saying do it. Send it. President Trump, send it. Let's go.
This needs to end. And people need to start being held accountable for baseless claims over absolute abysmal things. It needs to end. So please, if you have it in your heart to have the time to do this, get this in front of Congress, get this passed as a law, and start holding these news corporations, be they right, left, or center, accountable for their behavior. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hey, as a little bit of a reminder here, who has the House of Representatives right now? Oh, yeah, the Republicans. All right. Who has the Senate right now? Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Republicans. Who has the White House right? Who's the president? That's right. Oh, yeah. Republicans. Listen, hey, we have every single thing that we need to do this. Every single part of the equation, every single piece of the formula here, we got it. We can do it. Let's make it happen. Yeah, this sounds like a good plan to me. And you know what? Hey, like I said, President Trump himself posted this video on Truth Social. Why do you think President Trump himself would post this young woman's video on Truth Social if he wasn't at least a little bit thinking of doing this, thinking about, he's considering it, right? That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I wanted to play this video with you folks. Peter Navarro, real quick, short clip, last night weighed in on Charlie Kirk. I want to play this with you guys.
Right now, I think the important thing is to remember Charlie Kirk. And for me, I want people to understand just how important a historical figure he is at 31 years old. He is, to me, pound for pound, year for year, the best political organizer we've seen in 50 years.
Yeah.
And the numbers don't lie. Right now,
pound for pound, by the age of 30, the best political, I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah. You know, I'll tell you, it is tough to build what Charlie Kirk built by the age of 31. It would be tough to build what Charlie Kirk built by the age of 81 or 101. Some people, you could give them multiple lifetimes. You could give them 5, 10, 15, 20 lifetimes, and they would never be able to build what Charlie Kirk built. You got to give credit to Charlie Kirk where credit is due. The guy was a sensation. He was highly effective. And like we were saying a minute ago, that's one of the reasons why the left freaked out. They said, we got to kill this guy because he was so effective. He was a threat to them. He was dangerous to them, and he was, because he was such a smart guy, such a good businessman. He was. And by the way, that doesn't mean that I agree. I'm not, you know, I was saying this the other day. I consider myself to be further to the right than Charlie Kirk. I maybe even considerably further to the right than Charlie Kirk. I don't agree with everything that Charlie Kirk had to say. A lot. I think we had much more, maybe at an 80%, 20% rate, 80% agree, 20% disagree. I don't know, something like that. However, when it comes to, I mean, you need to give credit where it's due. The guy was able to build something that nobody else could have built. He did something that not a lot of people could have done. You need to give credit where it's due. Now, let's keep on moving on here. Oh, we have something, a little bit of a breaking news from CNN here, folks. Take a look. A couple hours ago.
Robinson was, quote, a little abnormal, didn't talk to anyone. He was a quiet dude, and he didn't like talking unless spoken to. He stays in the back, and I knew from word of mouth from coworkers that he was not fond of Trump or Charlie Kirk, obviously.
Really? Imagine that. So who's saying this? This is from an electrician that worked with Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson is the assassin. He was going through this technical school program to become an electrician. So this is an electrician that knew him, worked with him personally. Okay, so this guy knew him. He said Tyler was a little bit abnormal. He didn't talk to anyone. He was a quiet dude, and he didn't like talking unless spoken to. He stays in the back, and I knew from word of mouth from coworkers that he was not fond of Trump or Charlie, obviously. And this is coming from CNN. So once again, this entire far-left narrative that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by someone on the far right, Tyler, who was a far-right extremist, he killed Charlie Kirk because Charlie was too moderate, whatever. This is absurd. As it would turn out, he was an anti-fascist, maybe a member of Antifa. He did not like Trump. He did not like Charlie Kirk. And he was in a homosexual, transsexual relationship with a gay furry. You can't make it up. The story just gets crazier and crazier. Now, I want to show you guys something here, folks. We might have a big update right now. We've talked about this a little bit. There is a website that is called Charlie's Murderers, I believe. Yeah, charliesmurderers.com. This is a website that's being put together. I'm going to read this real quick, this headline, then we're going to talk about this. Breaking news. An online searchable database of nearly 40,000 people or more leftists that have been celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination will soon be publicly available along with their employers. The storm has only begun. So there is a website that has been created where you, all of us, anybody here, you are able to send information, identifying information to the website. They're building a database, making public catalog of every single person in the country that has been celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk and also championing even more political violence. A lot of these people have been pushing for even more political violence. And so now there are tens of thousands of submissions to the website. The website database is soon to be made public. I want to see when that's happening. Soon it's going to be happening. And then you'll be able to look up somebody's name. Hey, Matt Morris, is he on the website? Or whatever, your coworker, your friend. You can also submit people onto the website to hold these people accountable for the terrible, evil behavior that they have been perpetuating. Now, we've all been talking about cancel culture coming from the left. It's been the left for the last decade or so that has been pushing cancel culture. We are going to lose your job. We're going to get you kicked out of school, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I have a feeling that the far left is about to realize that all of us over here on the right, we are much better at doing this than they ever were. They have pushed us and forced our hand, and now it is time to give these people a taste of their own medicine. And I have a feeling that we are going to be much better at this than they ever were. This is a classic F around, find out moment. F around, find out, and this is what's going on. They're screwed, yeah. Like we've said, 30,000 up to 40,000. The official Twitter page here says over 50,000 of radical leftists. Okay, I'm going to see what this is. We have some posts here. President Trump said, "We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand." And so here we are. President Trump himself, and this is in regards to the murder of Zarutska, Irina Zarutska. He said, "We need to be vicious. We need to match their tempo." I think we all agree. Long are the days of ignoring these people. Long are the days of turning a blind eye to these people. We've got to hold them accountable for what they're doing. And so that is exactly what's happening. And by the way, listen, the left, they have escalated this. They are at the point where they are trying to shoot us in the face. We are now at the point of trying to get them fired from their jobs. They escalated this. They said, listen, it's okay. They, for 10 years, have been trying to get us fired. Now they're just shooting us in the face, as we saw a couple days ago. They've done this time and time again. Now, you know what? At least we're matching them a little bit, 1% of the way. Good Lord, not even. How can you compare that to killing somebody? So anyway, that's what's going on. Elon Musk actually got directly involved. There's this woman on Twitter. Her name is Olivia something. I've been following her. She has been calling the employers of left-wing individuals that have been celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. She posted earlier today, "I've contacted 234 employers as of now. My eyes hurt, but I'm going to keep doing it. More to come." Okay? Elon Musk responded. He said, "If you were unfairly treated by your employer due to the posting or liking of something on this platform, we will fund your legal bill. No limit, let us know." So listen. Oh, you know what? Here's the thing, though. This is, I think this person here is trying to say, haha, gotcha. This is not unfair treatment to be fired from your job if you are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. No, that is fair treatment. So you know what I say? We know how Elon Musk feels. He has said, we saw this clip earlier, that the far left has become the party of political violence and murder. Elon Musk supports this woman, Olivia. She's now getting people fired. Good. You know what? Good. Like we said, it is time for some comeuppances to be delivered. This video featuring comedian Dave Smith has been going viral. This hit the airways earlier today. I want to play this video. Take a look at this.
You sit there, and what do you think? You think this is a victory? Like for you? You think, oh, you took out a... let me think this through here with all of my wisdom. I want to win a culture war. So what I did was I violently murdered the most high-profile moderate voice on the other side. Hey, geniuses, but summon all your wisdom together and tell me, do you think that is likely to calm things down, or might that lead to more radicalization? And what the fuck, these dumbass fucking lefties celebrating? Like, what exactly are you trying to start here, you fucking pussies? Like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, go live your fucking weird lives and with your fucking pink hair and your 70 genders or whatever, but don't sit here and pretend you're ready for a fucking fight. Like, what are you doing? Do you know, it's like such a weird dynamic they have here, right? Where, like, broadly speaking in the country, there's like this culture war, right? And like the left wingers are almost always the ones who are out on the streets. They're the ones protesting. I mean, yeah, you could point to January 6th, but it's like the one exception. It's the exception that proves the rule. But who is out in, the Ferguson?
This can be said real quick. Listen, all of us over here on the right, we will take the abuse. We will accept. We'll be abused. We'll be abused. We'll take it on the chin. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. And we have been. And we'll take it until one day we won't. Until one day something will happen and our tolerance will have met its limits. And some people are saying that moment was the death of Charlie Kirk, where people have finally said enough is enough. All right, we've been taking it. We've been taking it for a very long time, and now enough is enough. A lot of people were saying that it was the death of Irina Zarutska. I think that's a component in all of this as well. Watching her get butchered on the subway, brutal. And then to have that followed up by the death of Charlie Kirk a couple days later, brutal. I don't know.
Missouri, protests and riots, or the Trayvon Martin protests and riots, or the George Floyd protests and riots, or there's the Pussy March, or there's the immigration march, or there's the campus activism over the last 15 years. It's like the leftists take to the street. They're the first ones to go, we're going to go out here and do a thing. It's much harder to get the right wingers out on the streets because they have families and jobs and church to go to. But the right wing is so much tougher. Like, if this ever came down to a fight, the fight is right wingers mowing down gender studies majors. Like, what are we fucking talking about here? You ever see one of those videos where like Antifa would actually get into a fight? And then you'd realize that like it's actually really funny. I mean, like, it was kind of jarring and a little weird, but like there'd be all these videos where there'd be like, the black bloc guys, like 7 kids in hoodies with like one of them's got a pipe and they got the masks on, so you're almost like, oh, these are like kind of tough looking guys, and then one of them swings like the girliest swing of a pipe and completely misses, and then a man punches him in the face and you hear the guy go, hey, and you're like, oh, you're not tough, you're just like role playing as like, what do you guys think? But you're trying to provoke this other side who will annihilate you. And there are real deal militias in this country. There are real deal gun enthusiasts in this country. You do not want to pop shit off with them. Of course, we also have a giant police force and a giant military, which we all know is made up of left-wingers, right? It's all made up of trans activists in those organizations.
Speaking of militias real quick, I'll tell you something. I recently moved up to the North Idaho area. You guys know that. And, I'm doing stuff around town. I'm running errands. I like to talk to people. I talk to strangers. I make small talk. In the last week and a half, I have had 3 different people up here in the North Idaho area tell me, 3 individual, isolated, different people tell me that the reason why North Idaho has remained so nice and safe and crime-free is because that they have militias up here that keep people in line. And I actually don't even really know what that means. I haven't looked into the North Idaho militia scene. Frankly, I don't really know, but I can imagine what that might look like. But I have had 3 people tell me that the reason why things are so nice up here is because they have militias. And the militias make sure that there's nothing crazy going on, and they take that very seriously. That's what I've heard. So, you know what? Good for them, I guess. Good for them, I guess. And I'll tell you, the place is nice. There's no homeless people. There's no crime. Literally, there's like no crime. There's no fentanyl addicts roaming the streets, stealing people's catalytic converters, whatever. It just like doesn't happen up here. Because I guess there's militias. Yeah, they don't play around, I guess. I've yet to meet any of these militia people. I don't know, but they're keeping the streets clean, I suppose. Now, there's another thing I wanted to show you guys, folks. I really want to highlight just how crazy the country has gotten right now. I saw this earlier today. It blew my mind. Check this out. America's rate of political assassinations has surpassed that of the 1960s and is approaching that of the Civil War. This is the chart here. The number of political assassinations we are having now has become so frequent, it is almost 2 times as frequent as the 1960s, the civil rights era, when people were getting gunned down left and right. The only time in American history that we had more political assassinations was during the Civil War. It was during the Civil War. Look at that. And I mean, you can understand the country was a little bit tense during the Civil War. Now, it's bad. It's really bad. We gotta shut this stuff down. This is getting out of control. So really, I hope we do. There's a couple things I think that Trump can do. I think we have some legal options here to shut this stuff down. I hope that we do. Now, I saw somebody say that Charlie Kirk's official YouTube channel just went live. Why? What? Oh, look at that. They did. They just went live 90 seconds ago. Folks, this is on Charlie Kirk's official YouTube channel. This is live right now in Arizona at the TPUSA headquarters. People have gathered. They're having a vigil out here tonight. That's just great. That's lovely. Really is. Real quick, I want to give a big shout out to the people on Rumble. We've got 12,000 viewers on Rumble right now. Matt Morris TV on Rumble. We are Matt Morris TV on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I do think this is probably going to be about the end of the broadcast here for the day. We've been live. I don't know how long. We had some technical difficulties earlier on today. We had to restart the broadcast, so altogether we might have been here for 2 hours. Thank you all very much. It is my goal, it is my objective to get back on a normal schedule with you guys, where I'm making my videos and my shorts. We go live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. But things have just been so crazy. You guys know, things have been regrettably, painfully crazy. And so hopefully, I don't know, you can say we hope things kind of settle down and chill out and relax a little bit. Emmeline McCoy over in Rumble, thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. I think we're probably going to wrap it up here. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Tomorrow is Sunday. We will be here tomorrow. We're going to, of course, I'm here 7 days a week. There are two things I do in my life. I spend time with my family and I make content. We're covering the news. We're doing the broadcasts and the videos here. So I spend my time with you guys and I spend my time with my family, and that's all that I do. That is literally my entire life. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, drop a follow, like the video. I appreciate it. One more time, really the best place to be, the best thing to do is follow over here on X for all the new updates, everything like that. Thank you all very much. I'm going to wrap it up. Everybody have a great night. Have a great morning. We'll be back tomorrow. And until then, everybody stay safe and take care of yourself. So have a good night.